Hello listeners and welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing 10 animation movie recommendations. These are in no particular order, these are just 10 recommendations for you guys. Movies released from 2020 to 2023. So starting right off at number 10 we have Bad Guys. The Bad Guys is a family comedy released in April of 2022. The movie follows a group of criminals. After years of mayhem, they are finally captured. However, to avoid prison time, they must become modern citizens. But can bad guys really become good guys, or is it all just one big illusion? The Bad Guys was just a fun, funny, good time. It took a different take. Instead of following a bunch of good guys trying to catch bad guys, you were actually following the bad guys and how they planned to stay bad. It keeps you engaged laughing, it keeps you engaged with all the crazy heists they get up to, keeps you engaged by trying to figure out what is real and what is not. Bad Guys is also getting a second movie that should be released in 2025. Next up on our list at number 9 we have Soul, a family fantasy that was released in October of 2020. We follow Joe, a part-time music teacher who one day dreams of playing professional jazz. While on his way to his big break, distracted by excitement, he falls down an open manhole. Joe then finds himself heading towards the afterlife. Unwilling to go, he ends up in a place they call the Great Beyond, a realm where new souls are preparing for life on Earth. While Joe is stuck in the Great Before, he is given a soul that he must mentor and find a spark to so that it may move on to life on Earth. While trying to find the spark for this new soul, Joe also goes on a self-discovery journey with himself and learns to find a new spark within himself. Next on the list, coming in at number 8, we have Sing 2, a family comedy released in December of 2021. Taking place not long after the first film, the show is in full swing. However, they fail to impress the entertainment scout and tells them they will not make it in the big city. Buster, determined not to give up, takes his crew and travels to the city anyway, and they're able to sneak their way into auditions and are able to book themselves in a space-themed sci-fi musical. However, the only way this musical is going to take place is if they can get Clay Calloway, a legendary rock star who disappeared after his wife died years ago. Buster has convinced the entertainment agency that he will have Clay there for the show, but can he pull it off? Sing definitely lives up to being a good, fun time and stayed to the hype of the first film. The animations were very bright and aesthetically pleasing. The songs were all very fun and entertaining and include extra guests while still keeping the stakes high of whether or not they can succeed in pulling off the show. At number 7 we have Trolls Band Together. Trolls is a fantasy musical released in November of 2023 and is the last installment of the Trolls franchise. We follow Poppy, voiced by Anna Kendrick, who has just found out her boyfriend Branch, voiced by Justin Timberlake, was part of one of her favorite band boy groups growing up. Once it's found out that one of Branch's brothers, Floyd, has been kidnapped, Branch and Poppy embark on a journey in order to save him. But they cannot do it alone. Branch must track down the rest of his brothers to help. And they must hurry, as Floyd is quickly approaching a terrible fate. Trolls Band Together was really fun and cute. It wasn't the best Trolls movie out of the franchise, but it was still a really good time and definitely a good, nice way to end out the franchise. Next up, coming in at number 6, we have DC's League of Super Pets. DC Super Pets is a family action released in July of 2022, when Superman and the rest of the League get kidnapped by Lex Luthor, who is left to save them. Yep, you guessed it, they're pets. Crypto, voiced by Dwayne Johnson, is Superman's dog. As much as he would love to do it alone, he knows, like his owner Superman, he cannot. So, Crypto must recruit his own Justice League. This is where he finds a group of shelter pets with their own superpowers and convinces them to help him. before Lex Luthor can succeed in his evil plan. DC Super Pets was a fun take on the superhero world. Instead of just making an animation adaptation of another superhero movie, they twisted it and gave us a movie not about the superheroes but about their pets. Overall, it is a fun family action animation that gives a nice twist on the take of superheroes. Plus, we know that Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart's funny banter is always a guaranteed good time. Next up at number 5, we have Super Mario Bros. It is a family adventure released in April of 2023. We follow Mario and Luigi as plumbers in Brooklyn. While working underground trying to fix a water pipe, they are mysteriously sucked through a pipe into a magical new world. But once the siblings are separated, they must go on an adventure to find one another. Super Mario Kart was done really well and definitely exceeded any expectations one had for the movie. It was able to bring the world that we all know and love to life, while still keeping it entertaining with the story that we have known for years now. It even features some very prominent voice actors, with Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, and Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. If that alone doesn't convince you to watch it, the wonderful wacky adventures they get onto will sure keep you entertained. Not to mention the overall animation of the world is overall aesthetically pleasing to watch. Coming in at number 4, we have Lightyear, a family adventure movie released in June of 2022. In this new animation, we follow the legendary space ranger Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Chris Evans, as he embarks on an epic journey with a new crew off to face their toughest mission yet. Along the way, they must endure obstacles and learn how to work together in order to stop the evil Zurg and his robot army. Lightyear was definitely a highly anticipated film, as we are all familiar and love the character Buzz Lightyear for many years from the Toy Story franchise. When we found out that he was getting his own installment, we were all very interested to see what it was going to be like. However, it did not disappoint and gave us another smashing adventure. Next, we have Minions: The Rise of Gru, a family comedy released in June of 2022. Although Rise of Gru does follow the story of Gru as a young boy, it is still technically part of the Minions franchise, as it is officially called Minions: The Rise of Gru, also known as Minions 2. The Rise of Gru follows Gru as a young kid in the 1970s, trying to make it as a supervillain. Gru wants to join a group of supervillains that call themselves the Vicious Six, as they have just outcast their leader and are looking for a new member. When the interview goes terribly wrong, Gru ends up stealing a precious artifact of theirs, the Zodiac Stone, causing Gru to be in hiding from the Vicious Six. Things only get worse when the minions lose the stone, and Gru gets kidnapped by Wild, holding him hostage, blackmailing the minions into giving over the Zodiac Stone in exchange for Gru's life. I think they were very clever in the making of Minions: The Rise of Gru, as they kept us entertained with a new fun adventure, whilst giving us extra backstory of Gru's rise to villainy and his time with the minions. They did a very good job by keeping characters the same and having references from Despicable Me. The Rise of Gru still keeps up to the level that Despicable Me delivers, and even appearances from characters that we know from that franchise. Next, coming in at number 2, we have Croods: A New Age, a family adventure released in November of 2020. Croods 2, we see all of our favourite characters come back, with Nicolas Cage as Grug, Emma Stone as Ebe, Ryan Reynolds as Guy, and even some newcomers with Peter Dinklage and Leslie Mann as Mr. and Mr. Betterman. Croods 2 starts off just where the first film ended, with the Croods taking on new adventures while trying to look for a new home. Whilst on their adventures, they stumble upon a walled land that they soon find out is owned by the Betterman family. The two families must learn to adapt and work with one another, with the Croods trying to adapt to all of this new age technology and advancements, with the Bettermans getting used of the Croods' caveman-like behavior and attitude. Croods 2 gave us a whole new world of adventure to enjoy, as well as keeping to the original film and bringing back all of our favorites from the original cast. Croods 2 kept us hooked with its all new adventures and new characters to the story, whilst being packed with top-notch comedic elements and moments. Croods 2 has everything you would need for a good, fun, relaxing watch with the fam. And now finally taking the number 1 spot is Elemental, a family romance that was released in June of 2023. Elemental is set in a world where fire, water, land, and air all live together. So once a fire girl and a water boy meet and begin to get to know one another, they realize they have a lot in common. But can the two find a way to be together, or was it always destined to fail? I don't know why I don't see more people talking about this movie. It was so good. The story was completely unique and original from anything we've ever seen before. It had us shuffling through a wide range of emotions, from happiness to sadness to wholesome and feeling nostalgic. It really had something in there for everyone. The animations were beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. The story was very much family friendly and fun, but still seemed to hold a very deep underlying message under it all. It had inspiring messages of family and falling in love. It showed us the importance of finding and accepting yourself as well as others. It was just a really, really good film and exceeded any and all expectations that I ever had for it. It was different and unique to any animation you'd ever seen before. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It still does not get as much hype as I believe it should, and I can guarantee you will not be disappointed. But that is all the recommendations I have for you. Let me know if you want more recommendation videos like this, what recommendations from this video you like or maybe didn't like, and what you reckon I should include for next time. Also, let me know if you want a more in-depth review on any of the movies I mentioned. That is all for this episode. As always, everything we discussed will be linked below along with my socials. Please be sure to like, subscribe and follow. Feel free to leave all your thoughts and comments below. Thanks for listening.